I said to the commissioner, they were like, look, there's no rules against it. I was like, well, let's make sure there is, because it's cheating and it's dirty. And we can't be doing all this stuff when it comes to testing and making sure the sport's clean, and then people are being dirty in other regards. So let's make a rule. And also, has anyone ever won money on it? Has there ever been any side bets on it? If you know what I know and I'm putting money on it because we have inside information, it's fucking dirty. So that's where I think when I said there should be suspension for life.
There's no way. There's no way you could say that. You literally try to get the man arrested, and then you're going to say, I'm grateful for MVP to take the fight. This is insanity. No way. Man, I really try to like Ian Garry. It's not possible. It is not possible. I'm going to tell you why I'm mad. So, during the press conference, Ian Garry and MVP went at each other. Ian Garry said MVP tried to infiltrate my camp. He called my coaches, my team to get dirt on me. Nevada to do an investigation on him. This is dirty. This is not right. I was like, okay, normal fight stuff, but the investigation, all that is kind of weird. What I didn't like is he didn't even let MVP talk. He has this thing where he likes to talk over his opponents because he's not really good at talking shit, you know? Conor, the difference between him and Conor, main thing is, first of all, Conor is like his own person. He's not trying to emulate anyone. He's trying to be his own person. He's trying to emulate Conor, but understands that he can't talk trash as well as Conor. And he cannot rebuttal because Conor is very sharp. He's able to go back and forth with his opponents. He's able to analyze detail and information very, very quickly. It's actually really, really impressive. Ian Garry, on the other hand, can't do that. We're not all able to do that. There are special people. Conor's one of them. Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather. Those guys are able just to talk shit really, really good. Ian Garry, on the other hand, can't do that. So he resorts to tactics like Colby Covington, where he's memorizing and preparing well for these press conferences. He doesn't want to be like Sean O'Malley. He wants to like kind of make his name like Conor did from these pressers. Okay, so his new tactic I've seen recently with Neil Magny and now MVP is he likes to just talk over his opponents.
Yo, this guy is hilarious. Just remember,
You want to say
you're gonna
it
hear
or I? You want to say it or I? What am I talking about? Tell the people.
Like he's saying, I'm basically gonna win an argument because I'm louder and no one's gonna be able to hear what you gotta say. So that's the main reason why I don't like Ian Garry. It's so slimy. But I was really interested in this fight, even though the fight was a little bit of snooze fest. It wasn't even a little bit. It was a snooze fest. But I was really interested in this fight because I was like, ooh, MVP is kind of dangerous. Ian Garry is younger. I want to see how this plays out. And we didn't get what we wanted. But in the presser, they were talking shit to each other. So I was like, man, this is going to be a good fight. There's real animosity here. This doesn't look fake, yada, 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 because he's accused the MVP trying to get dirt on him. And I thought it was going to be pretty good. But then on the Embedded series, they showed the video of Ian Garry walking up to MVP. He's like, oh, here's my child. And then MVP started playing with it, with the child. So I was like, oh, it's over. All this is like fake beef, right? So I was like, okay, they're just selling the fight, whatever. Sell the fight. As long as we get a great fight, it will be okay. We didn't get that. And now we have fake beef. And then I was like, okay, Ian Garry, you won the boring fight. In the post-fight interview, he gave MVP a lot of credit. He said he's a great fighter, great striker. I had to be careful about the strikes I threw because he could counter me. Things like that, normal, yeah, let's just move past it, on to the next guy type stuff, right? But then, in the post-conference, he has something to say, which is weird.
So the first thing was, my son is the most lovely little boy on the planet, and he's seen MVP, and MVP came to me, shouted over. He's like, you got a beautiful son. My son put his arms out and asked him for a hug. I'm never going to say no, so I picked him up, I brought him over. If I bring him over to someone, he's safe. He's not just going to walk over and hug someone randomly. Daddy's got you, I've got you, no matter what, you're safe. I'm never going to tell my son he's not allowed to hug someone in the world.
Sounds good, right? This guy is so weird. He wants to be liked so bad. But then the stuff he does makes you want to hate him. you're like, oh, Ian Garry is like a family man, hardworking, trying to provide just like food on the table. You're like, oh, he does this stuff. I could relate to him. But then he's a slimy little weasel. You're going to see it.
Well, I think a hug is always welcomed. You know, I'm an emotional human being. I always welcome a hug, and I've always been told never turn away a hug. And I will treat that to my kid as well. When it comes to what was said, the build-up, everything I said was factual and true. I'm not lying. I don't lie. There was money offered, and it's filthy, and I think it's cheating, and I think it's disgusting in the sport. But
I think it's cheating. There's money offered. This is coming from a man that destroyed Neil Magny's life. If you don't know, Neil Magny, we're going to get in on this too. Neil Magny and Ian Garry were just doing their normal pre-fight stuff where they're, going back and forth. Neil Magny made a comment where it's like, I'm going to beat you like my son, or I'm going to beat you like my child, right? Just to say, like, I'm gonna beat you up pretty much. Like, that's the context of it, right? Ian Garry literally took that and ran with the idea that no, Magny beats his children, and said that's disgusting. Like, he took it for the literal word that Neil Magny actually beats his children. And guess what happened afterwards? Neil Magny's complaining about that he has a custody problem, and they're using Ian Garry's words against him, because he was so adamant by saying that he beats his child and never stopped during the first press conference, and then the post conference, he doubled down on it. He said it to the point so much that if you see these clips, you would be like, oh, Neil Magny is such an evil guy, right? The way Ian Garry was explaining it, it's like he knows Neil Magny, but he has no idea who he even is.
Nobody, there is no right to ever put your hand on a kid. Ever discipline anything.
You want to play victim so bad, bro.
Mate, you're a father. You never lay your fucking hands on a child ever.
You know exactly.
Yesterday you said I'm a father.
So that's the same guy we got here that's trying to act like a victim for a fight that he won, that he could arguably say that he lost too, right? It was such a boring fight. You could say that it was a draw or an MVP win. Let's keep listening to this.
Is respect someone who's willing to stand in the octagon with me. I didn't have to fight tonight. I could have waited. Connor's out. I could have waited, but I'm not that person. I want to fight.
What do you mean you could have waited because Connor's out? No one asked him this question. So a thought ran through his mind saying, hey, if Connor's going to fight maybe in next month's card, or if we have a date that we know Connor's going to fight, should I pull out of this fight so I could time my fight with Connor to win those fans? I understand from an aspect of everybody's trying to be on a Connor card for the simple fact that the whole world is watching Connor fights, and you could be like, hey, I could get eyeballs and new fans on me that never heard of me, basically attaching myself to Connor. You know what's funny that he said that? He said something else. He said, why is everyone giving him a hard time that he wants to be like Connor? He said everyone should want to be like Connor. He's the biggest star in the sport. And then he compared it to the NBA. He said no one gave Kobe shit for trying to be like MJ. I don't think what Ian Garry understands. Kobe was trying to be better than MJ. He was comparing himself to MJ because that's where the bar is at. He was not trying to actually be MJ though. You're trying to be Connor. And you're talking like Connor, you're walking like Connor, and you're moving your career like to align yourself with Connor. That's the difference. You could be inspired by someone, you could be a fan of someone, but at the end of the day, people could see real and could see fake. Like you will never be able to fake it. And that's his issue. He doesn't understand that. All right, let's keep watching what he says. This is the part that made me mad.
I want to fight everyone and anyone. I am on this mission to become one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm excited to see what the future has.
At official weigh-ins, we saw you having a pretty spirited conversation with the commission. Was that about what you were alluding to?
100%. Absolutely. It was like, you can... Look,
this guy was talking to the commission. He's really trying to get MVP suspended off this. off of trying to get dirt on him. What? What is he hiding? What is he hiding in a shooter box or wherever club he goes to the point where he's talking to the commission about what MVP did? Saying, this guy's trying to get dirt on me. He's talent-telling. In a sport where they fight. And he just fought the man. Is that not insane? No one else does this. The only person we know that did something similar to this was Kobe Covington. But that's a whole different case where he got assaulted, right? Even that was soft. Even that point was soft. But this guy to go out here and try to get MVP suspended is so dirty. Look at him. Keep watching.
Look, the way I looked at it is, how many times he's done it in his career prior to? How many times has he gone into a fight with an unfair advantage? If, as a fighter, if you ask me 2 questions, Ian, would you rather be on juice or would you rather have knowledge? What's more powerful? Knowledge beats everything, right?
What? What? So you're telling me you will have MVP on steroids? You rather fight MVP on steroids than him having a knowledge of your technique? Does he not know MVP could open up YouTube right now and watch your fights, all your fights in the UFC, all your fights in Cage Warrior, and study them? What knowledge is he gaining from your camp when he could have someone sitting all day watching your fights, finding the little ticks or the little things that you mess up on? Logically, it doesn't even make sense. Look at this guy. He said he'd rather fight an opponent on steroids. Okay, so I want everyone to keep the same energy with Ian Garry that they do with Jamal Hill. Yes, Jamal Hill is wrong for all his takes about Alex Pereira, but Ian Garry deserves that same delusional type hate. I know he gets hate from other stuff that's like, it's in his control, but it's none of our business, like his personal life. Like, I don't care what he does, who he marries, who's his wife, all that shit. I don't really care. Is it weird? Yes. Me personally, would I do it? Hell no. But I don't care about that shit. I look at the fighters for what they do in the fight business. This dude snitching on his opponent to the commission, trying to rob him of his livelihood. Is people just gonna let that slide? Are you really gonna be a fan on this guy for doing that? Makes no sense. Let's keep listening to this.
Hey, so that to me makes me think that it's fucking cheating. We do all these drug tests, we do all this stuff to go, you're clean, you're not doing drugs. But someone come out here and offer money for my information, for my team. Thank God Shoot the Box is fucking rock solid. Thank God Shoot the Box go, no, we shut it down. And we locked everything down and nothing went out. We had a blackout on Instagram.
Bro really thinks that's cheating. Getting dirt for a press conference is cheating now. Okay, what did Conor do to Khabib? So did Conor cheat when he got the information about Khabib's team or whatever? But basically, yeah, the guy that you idol is doing the same thing, but probably even worse. So, what is it, Ian Garry? You can't have it both ways, right?
Locked everything down and nothing went out. We had a blackout on Instagram and stuff on socials. For me, I said to the commissioner, they were like, look, there's no rules against it. I was like, well, let's make sure there is, because it's cheating and it's dirty. And we can't be doing all this stuff when it comes to testing and making sure the sport's clean and then people are being dirty in other regards. So let's make a rule. And also, has anyone ever won money on it? Has there ever been any side bets on it? If you know what I know and I'm putting money on it because we have inside information, it's fucking dirty. So that's where I think when I said there should be suspension for life, I believe that if you go check the bank accounts and you go check the bookies, I guarantee there's been some money won somewhere along the line, and that's filthy and that's cheating to me. But I will sit here and say I am grateful to MVP that he took the fight.
There's no way. There's no way you could say that. You literally try to get the man arrested and then you're going to say, I'm grateful for MVP to take the fight. This is insanity. No way. So, he talked to the commission. The commission told him there's no rules against this. But let's make a rule. Let's go ahead and investigate all the people who betted on MVP or has connections to them to see their bank accounts, whether they benefited for MVP gathering information from his opponents. First of all, if you don't know MVP, he's been fighting in Bellator, where they fed him cans. Like guys we know that he's gonna beat. He's a huge favorite in a lot of these fights. So for him just to think that MVP had to use dirty tactics to beat these cans is insanity, right? And 2, how can you just thank your opponent for taking the fight after trying to get them basically arrested? Huh? Is this guy real? There's no way he thought this would be a good idea. If you look at this video I'm watching on Mac Life, it has so many dislikes. On Twitter, I'm seeing people roast this guy. What is he doing? He needs to have someone in charge of his career, because obviously when he talks, it's not working well for him. It's just something about him and Jamal Hill. As they keep talking, they make everything worse.